right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bobcat Weekly Podcast. This is episode 33. We took a week off, but we're back to hopefully our normal recording schedule for the rest of the spring. Kind of crazy. It's already second week in May, first week in May. The year's flying. It seems like we just started. It seems like national championship just happened, but we're in May already. But yeah, welcome back to the show, episode 33. We're joined by our first football guest of the 2026 campaign, national championship, Myles Sansted. Myles, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so kind of decided with getting rolling, especially with the spring game just happening and spring ball, you guys getting into the summer ball, fall camp, all that, kind of figured it would make sense to get some guys on and just kind of get a little insight into kind of the season, upcoming summer, all that stuff, and as well as go and recap the past season, ending in that national championship. But since we took a week off, we've got a decent amount to talk about. Lots happened in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. But we'll get into all that stuff later. For you guys who are new here, my name is Keegan Torsdahl, and I'm here with
Aiden Kuntz.
Aiden Kuntz today. Brady is at track practice today. He was unable to make the recording time, so you just got Aiden and us today. So deal with it. But no, we'll have a really good show. So spring sports are pretty much underway. Tennis wrapped up their season a couple weeks ago. Golf also wrapped up their season. Rodeo is getting to the end of their regular season. CNFR coming up. So we've got a lot to recap, so we'll dive into all that stuff. But first of all, we'll start off with an interview with Myles. But Myles, welcome to the show. Happy to have you here. But for the fans who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of the journey to Montana State.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of a unique journey and a little bit of a unique path. I graduated high school in May of 2022. I'm from Alexandria, Minnesota, about like 15,000, graduating class of 300, so pretty similar to a lot of the AA schools here in Montana. And then my uncle is Coach Vegan. So my mom and Coach Vegan's wife, Molly, are fraternal twin sisters. So I've gotten to grow up, watching NDSU football games, and then Wyoming football games, and then Montana State games. So I initially kind of just came out here to go to school, and I was going to give kicking a shot. No matter where I went, just tried to walk on. It was between here or KU, and then I had family out here, and Jake was going out here, so just decided, hey, why not Montana State? And then, I ended up joining the team in January of 2023 after Blake Glessner transferred to UCLA. So it kind of just worked out a little bit. So Coach Vegan allowed me to join the team, went through spring ball, summer workouts. Then we brought Brendan Hall in as well because Bryce Layton finished up punting as well. So it was kind of Brendan Hall, Casey Kautzman, Tommy Sullivan being the long snapper, and myself. And throughout that fall camp, I just wasn't where I needed to be yet, and I ended up getting cut 2 weeks into fall camp by my own uncle. So that was quite the experience. I mean, and then I really just decided, hey, I'm going to give this one more shot. They kind of would let me use the field whenever they weren't using it, so I would get to go kick every once in a while. Kept working out, and then rejoined again in the spring of 2024, and then went through spring ball, fall camp. I actually had pulled my quad the second practice of spring ball, and so that was when I had talked to Coach, it was kind of like, okay, we're going to figure out between Casey and I, who's going to be the starter for the 2024 season. And then I ended up kind of hurting myself second practice. So that wasn't ideal. And then just rehabbed and continually got better over the summer. Fall camp comes around. And basically we were both kicking pretty well. Casey probably had a little bit of an edge, and then he actually hurt himself a week before New Mexico. So all of a sudden, I'm kind of the starting kicker. It's a week before New Mexico, and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? I was literally just trying to make the team, fighting for a roster spot, and now I'm the starting kicker. And then, the rest is kind of played out better than I could have imagined it. Great last 2 years, and can't wait to have another great year this year.
Yeah. What was that experience like going from, like you said, just trying to make the roster spot to, holy crap, this is actually happening? Like from a mental standpoint, what did that look like?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was really like a whirlwind because it was like we have that last scrimmage, I don't know when it is, but like a week or two before the first game of the year. And like all of a sudden it was just me out there kicking and I was taking all the reps. And like it didn't really like process in my head because like I didn't know how bad Casey had kind of hurt himself because we were literally kicking every single day and like in front of the whole team, and then we'd have full team. Like they were putting us through the ringer, trying to make sure whoever came out on top like had the utmost confidence in, and just making sure that everything was going to be good. But yeah, it was quite the thing. But I had such great support from my family, my friends, my teammates. And then John Shirkey, who was like kind of like one of my mental coaches at the time, talked to him and went over everything, and like, yeah, just got me dialed in on my processes and focusing on the process and not trying to make the moment too big. Yeah, and then that was like obviously the craziest first game ever. Like we go down, whatever it was, 17-0, and then have that huge crazy comeback in my first ever college football game. That was awesome.
Yeah, especially against a team like New Mexico. I mean, what was that experience like for you and the team?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just remember like going down there. It was like 90 degrees or something like that. It was so hot, and we obviously knew we could hang with them, but how the game started, we just kind of got down, and then but like you felt like there was no panic and stuff like that, and then Tommy's like goes off and Adam has that 94-yard touchdown run or whatever, and yeah, it was one for the ages. And then just that whole first season was super cool experience. And like I had a really rough second game at Utah Tech. Like first ever college field goal got blocked. Second one right before the end of the half, a normal op time is like 1.3 and I was like 1.11, like went way too fast, and then finally made my third kick. And so that was like a crazy up and down start to the season, and then the rest after that was a pretty good year. So
yeah, so kind of going back to, you talk about obviously Coach Vegan is your uncle and that family. What was that experience like growing up, having family coaching at the collegiate level, and a pretty dang coach at that? What was that experience like to have that in the family?
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, a lot of my memories growing up, we'd always go to games. I mean, so like it's been like I've been to saw Wyoming at Michigan State, Iowa, saw NDSU play at KU and K-State, Minnesota. So I've been to like so many different college football games, and like growing up watching college football, like, I always kind of like dreamed of playing football, but I never played football. Like I played football in fourth grade, tackle football. They made me the center. I was not that big because like we were the only me and my twin brother were the only people who could like snap the ball back to the quarterback. So I somehow got stuck at center, and I played a little bit of some other positions, but I was like, I'm done. There's too many practices, not enough games. So I just went back to playing soccer, basketball, and running track. And then I didn't start playing football again until my sophomore year of high school.
Interesting.
And then in sophomore year of high school, I just did kicking for like, I would just practice like a bunch, and I didn't really play in any games. I think I played in like one JV football game because we always have soccer games. So yeah, but it was really cool because so a former Minnesota Gophers kicker, Joel Monroe, he lives in Alexandria, and he was offered his help. So he trained myself and then Daniel Jackson, who's a freshman for the Gophers right now. So yeah, without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So shout out to Joel and Daniel. They've been a big help in my kicking career.
Yeah, going off of the soccer and football thing, Aiden, I mean, that's what Zeke did for you guys this year. For Gallatin High, some of you guys may know him or not, Zeke Layton. I mean, I know there were away games where he was like traveling up earlier in the day to play the soccer game, and then like hopped over with you guys to kick for like Friday night. So
he would always show up like 30 minutes before the game, like getting dressed as we're all trying to go out onto the field, and it was always a hot mess. Like, is he going to show up in time? Or because they always had soccer games directly before.
Yeah.
And there was a few times where it lined up good, and we were playing in Great Falls or something, and they were in Great Falls. But yeah, soccer kids are really good kickers, which is very convenient.
Oh yeah, when he had a pretty good leg on him too. I mean, he was fun to watch. So. Yeah, I'd like to get into kind of more your background growing up, all that stuff here in a sec. But first, kind of like talk about the spring so far this year. So it's kind of crazy. It's already May 7th. I mean, I feel like the year's flying by for me. Like I said, I feel like Nashville was not that long ago, but it's already May. But spring game was it last weekend, 2 weekends ago?
Yeah, 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago, pretty recently. But kind of give us a look at, what this year's been for you guys like so far, and the plan and how the rest of the spring summer is going to go.
Yeah, so like obviously a lot different start to this year than last year. I mean, kicked off winning the championship, but then even after that, like coming back to the team meetings, like it was awesome to see so many familiar faces and have a big core of all the main guys returning, which was really awesome to see. And I think that's a testament to just the chemistry and the camaraderie that we have as a team, and then to the Bozeman community as a whole. I mean, I think the support that you guys give us is second to none, and that's a big reason why a lot of us chose to stay and to come back, because it's nothing like anywhere else in the whole country. So thanks to you guys, a lot of us are coming back, and we're excited to run it back. And, really just that first 8 weeks of like middle of January to middle of March, spring break is pretty much just lifting, running. Guys will get in a little bit of throwing, like we'll do a little bit of kicking, kind of slowly ramping up as we get towards spring ball. And then spring ball after spring break, 15 practices, and then we'd lift twice a week and have like a recovery or regen day on Friday. But that's kind of just like what the spring has looked like so far. And then now we got off until June 1st, not off, but just getting working on your own or back home or wherever you're at. So, yeah.
Yeah, you talked about camaraderie with guys returning this year and retention. We talked about a couple weeks ago on the NIL episode you did. How important would you say that is in playing a factor in building a national championship caliber team?
I think having like a high quality team and just having guys who love one another, are there for one another, is huge, because at this level and like at the level, like everyone's got talent, everyone's got skill. So what separates you is that teamwork, that camaraderie, that love for your brother, that trust, knowing that they're going to go out there and give it their all and you're going to do the same. And, whatever happens, but we know we're going to get it done in the end.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to see, even after, say, team wins national championship, a smaller team. Obviously, you're going to know with the transfer portal existing, people are going to leave, and that's the nature of it. That's the NIL episode. We talked a lot about that with Caden and Adam in that sense. But I think, you already kind of like answered this, kind of said it, but the community, I think, plays such a big part into why a lot of people stayed in that sense. Like, yeah, we had a few names leave, but at the same time, I still feel like the majority of the team's here.
Yeah.
Like, come the first game in the end of August, I feel like we're going to recognize a lot of names on that field, because I think that's what makes Bozeman and Montana State so special. So, yeah, spring game a couple weeks ago, I was not able to go to that. Aiden, you were out of town, yeah?
Yeah, I think Brady was the only one that was able to go.
Darn, he's okay.
It always ends up being weirdly scheduled for us.
Yeah, but spring game, since we weren't able to, we heard through Brady about it, but kind of give us your thoughts on kind of how that went and how spring ball's been so far.
Yeah, no, spring ball was pretty good overall. Had some ups and downs. It's always like kind of frustrating. It's hard to explain, but like as a kicker, like taking a few weeks off is always good, and like lifting and getting stronger and stuff like that. But like it's always a little bit frustrating coming back into spring and like redialing it in, because once you get to the end of the season in 4 months, like you're just so dialed in, and like then you're just take some time off and get stronger, then you got to redial it back in. So like there was definitely one practice where I'm just like, what the heck is going on here? your leg will sometimes like getting stronger, and then you got to just like with your body position, your leg speed, you got to just all dial it back in. So, spring ball, there's always ups and downs, but I think that's a good thing because it helps keep me humble and just focused and being intentional and not being complacent. But yeah, because it's always good to have some setbacks and challenges because then you got to overcome it and stay on top of your game and like, hey, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, so looking at kind of position groups specifically, kickers, special teams, how does spring ball look like for you guys as to, say, opposed to quarterbacks, wide receivers?
Yeah, so obviously specialist, very different. We do choose a position where, practice we may not be as physically demanding, but we still make sure to get all of our work in. So like, for example, this spring, you think, okay, we got like 2-hour practice, 24 periods. We'd usually start walkthrough at like 6:15. So like everyone's usually going through walkthrough for 20 minutes or whatever it is. And then we got warm up and then practice. So with the indoor, it's really nice because the whole team's in there. And then as long as there wasn't, I think it was only snow on the ground once or twice or crappy weather outside. So we would pretty much once a week on Thursdays, you would usually have like team field goal first period. And then pretty much at the start of every practice, we'd also have like 15 minutes of special teams. So we'd usually just go over there, warm up at like 6 or whatever, 15 minutes earlier. And we'd just warm up, hit cross fields in the middle while like the offense and defense are like in their respective like end zones. And then we usually would have field goal or special teams for the start of practice, and then we would go over to the stadium and do some more like charting or kicking. So we'd usually do like field goal one day, punt the next day, and then kind of just mostly field goal or whatever. Like Colby would do more punts, and then Michael and I would do more field goals on Saturdays and stuff like that. And then after we did that, we'd go hit a lift. So we split it up. We did like arms on the first day, like rotational workout and core on the second day, and then legs on the third day. So we'd usually go in and work out for an hour and then head back out to practice like 30 minutes before it's done and just watch the guys. And usually like there's some type of, after the first 2 weeks, there's usually some type of like game towards the end of practice. So that was always fun cheering on the guys and watching that.
Yeah, so you mentioned the indoor facility, the Kennedy Stark Athletic Center. We touched on this with sophomore thrower Easton Heidelberg a couple weeks ago, but how has that been for you guys to have that new addition to Montana State football and really just athletics as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's been so great. I mean, the fact that we were able to get more kicks up in the winter was like amazing. I think it honestly maybe even helps the specialists more so than some of the other positions because like if it is in the winter, we can't really, and the turf isn't clear, we can't really do much. So it's really been awesome to have that. And even not in the winter, it's been awesome to have that because if the team is practicing on the turf or in the indoor, we can kind of be in the opposite facility and have space to kick during practice because before we had the indoor, we would honestly have to kick either before or after practice to have field space. Or if they're just doing team on one side, we'd kick on the other side. But usually we'd have to go out early and kick before practice. So it's been really nice to have the new facility. But yeah, it's definitely interesting kicking on the indoor versus kicking outside because the indoor turf is definitely a little like softer per se.
Yeah.
It's kind of squishier, so you kind of like, whereas the turf in the stadium is like not as soft. So like when if your foot hits the ground in the indoor, it kind of can like just stay down or it won't like bounce back up as much. So it's like a little bit of adjustment going back and forth, but
interesting.
It's great overall.
Yeah, and I think from the like football perspective, obviously track in that sense too. At MSU, even down to the high school level, they were having indoor meets there this year when conditions didn't allow for meets to be outside. So I think, so obviously if that wasn't there, then the meet would be canceled. But I got to go in there for one of Brady's track meets, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, and that place is pretty cool. I couldn't believe how big it was as soon as we walked in. I was like, this is nuts. And like we got to watch it from, we talked about the Easton too, but our tailgate was like right on that west side where it was going up, so we got to watch construction throughout the whole season. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, now I would kind of like to go back and hit on as much as we want to this past season. Roller coaster of emotions, I would say, throughout the playoffs and especially the national championship game. But just, Myles, I'd kind of like to get your overall thoughts on the season from start to finish, how it went from your perspective, and then kind of the teams as well.
Yeah, no, it was like a big difference because we had Tommy Sullivan for 4 years, and he just played like over 55 games, 50 whatever. I think he has the record for most consecutive starts, which he should, like your long snapper, he should, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
So it was a big change because it was pretty much just me, and because Casey went to Tech, Mackey, who played wide receiver, went to Western, and he does all three there at Montana Western. So it was really just me, and then we brought in Brody Johnson as our long snapper, Colby Froker, who did punting, kickoff, and held this year, and then Michael Rubich as well. So it definitely took like a little bit of adjusting right away, but I mean, I'm so proud of the way that they handled the adversity, just in regards to like your first ever college game and college snap is in Autzen Stadium. Like that's insane. But yeah, I was just really, I mean, for me personally, the season had some ups and downs. You know, a little bit of the midpoint of the season just had some struggles here and there, and just had to, you know, go back to the basics, focus on my process. You know, I was trying to be like too goal oriented and put too much pressure on myself. Like, oh, if I want to be all conference, I need to make this. When it's like, no, you don't need to make any kick. Just focus on your process, and the rest will take care of itself. So, you know, middle of the season had some ups and downs, but you know, once we were getting towards the back half of the season, you know, it was a great finish to the year. And I would say the same thing as far as the special teams unit as a whole. You know, got some punts blocked earlier in the year, stuff like that. But overall, like once we got to the midpoint of the season and then thereafter, you know, I think after that Cal Poly game, I think is when we finally just we started to come together, and it all kind of came to fruition, as a specialist unit and then as a special teams whole. Like we did a great job on kickoff and PBR, and Taco had another great year returning, and Bez probably had the best year that we've had returning kickoffs in the past probably 5 or 6 years. So that was really cool to see. Hopefully we'll get him in the end zone this year.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we'll see Taco in the end zone a few times this year on punt return and receiving and rushing as well. But yeah, it was really cool to see how we overcame some obstacles early in the year and then really just turned it on as of late. I mean, you think about the national championship game, and we go from having potentially a 50-plus yard field goal, 55-plus yard field goal to win the game to, oh my gosh, we got a punt now. And so I was really proud of the guys in that moment of Brody and Colby. And then Corey Boyd went down there and made a spectacular tackle, right at the end of regulation. So it was just really cool to see the impact that we had as a unit. And
Yeah, so we talked about the start of the 2025 season, go 0-2 with the loss out in Eugene to Oregon, and then 24-30 here for Gold Rush and double overtime. Starting the season 0-2, obviously not the most ideal thing in the world. I know we were sitting here for week 3 or 4, whatever it was of the show, kind of thinking, we're 0-2, kind of what's going to happen here? What's the rest of the season going to look like? But from your guys' perspective, inside the locker room, what did you guys kind of talk about after that week 2 loss? And then how did you adjust? What did you adjust, if anything, moving forward?
Yeah, I'm sure some of the guys have talked about it on here before, but we didn't need to change anything. we came together as a group, and the captains and some of the other guys we just held a little players team meeting and got together. And I mean, we really just talked about staying the course and trusting one another, and that we were going to be okay. And we just needed to put our heads down and work. And, we know we're not where we need to be yet, but we can still get there. And we still have a whole season in front of us. And we just needed to focus on stacking days, each day at a time, and then stacking games, one game at a time as well. Really just focusing on the small details and being really intentional about the day-to-day and just stacking days.
Yeah, and I think something that we definitely talked about, I think definitely was kind of around in the Bobcat communities. I think some people are probably pretty uncertain after that week 2 loss of, what are the Bobcats going to look like this year? Like 0-2, obviously the previous year, and then starting the season with that huge win streak up to the national championship. But I think you guys proved it with we start that September run here at Bobcat Stadium, 41-7 win over San Diego, and then I guess the rest is history. But I guess kind of talk through the rest of the regular season, then into the playoffs. We've covered on how many football episodes. I mean, we had a blast throughout the regular season, but do you have a regular season game, playoff game that sticks out to you in particular as a favorite? Or
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of a cheating answer to say beating the guys over the hill for the Brawl of the Wild trophy in November, but I would definitely say that was a really fun one to get that done and to keep it over here. And then for playoffs, I mean, obviously the Natty, but I mean they all were awesome. I mean, SFA, I got to graduate and play a football game on the same day, so that was really cool in December. And then, I mean, the Super Brawl, I don't know how it gets more poetic than that. And then, yeah. Yeah,
I don't remember what week it was we were talking about, but the Super Brawl, that Lamson's first rushing touchdown was down in front of us on our end zone. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've heard Bobcat Stadium that loud before. And that's what I've told the guests that come on. I was like, I do not think it's been any louder. Other than that, or then probably the end of the game, maybe Bryce's pick 6 there at the end. But
I think, in my opinion, Bryce's pick 6, I think when Seth Brock blocked the punt on Gold Rush, that has still been one of the loudest ones I've ever heard. And then, I think there was probably, some other moments when I wasn't on the team, but I think College Game Day was here for that. Wasn't on the team then, but I think that was pretty loud. But I would definitely say like Bryce's pick, Justin's first touchdown, and then the blocked punt and Gold Rush were probably the three loudest last year for sure.
It's funny you bring Seth up in that point because we finished our week 2 show, Gold Rush. We're trying to figure out who we want to have on for week 3, and Brady lined up Seth, and I was like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "He blocked the punt." I was like, oh, okay, like this is going to be pretty sweet. And since then, we've built a really good relationship with Seth. So, that was that was Seth's like, hey, Bobcat Stadium, this is me type of deal. But, that was also super loud, now I want to kind of move into, I guess we can kind of move into talking Nashville a little bit. We sound like a broken record on here, but we love Nashville. We had a blast. We were able to stay for a handful of days and get some other things done outside of the game. But your experience, how was Nashville? How do you like it? And
I thought it was awesome. I would definitely prefer Nashville over Frisco. I thought the experience as a whole was really great, and just in regard to hotel, practice facilities, playing on a turf field, stuff like that. I thought it was all great. It was funny. So I have an identical twin brother, and so I kept getting like some people would tell me just now or whenever I saw them after the season's over, it was like, hey, I saw your twin downtown or hanging out with your family or whatever, and I was so super confused. It's like, what is our starting kicker doing in downtown Nashville like 2 days before the game?
Yeah.
So got some funny stories about that, or just funny stories of people like saying hi and he's got no idea who anyone is. He's just like, or like, you know, sometimes he might even just like go along with it and act like he's me. I'm like, what the heck? But no, it was awesome. And it's funny because so Colby Froker got sick like 2 days before the game or whatever. So he got an IV and like went to the doctor. So he missed practice, whatever. I can't remember what day we got there, but whatever, let's just call it, it would have been Friday because we had practice that day, Saturday, because the game was on Monday. So Saturday. So I punted during practice that day, and we had Pat Duchesne hold because Colby was just trying to feel better and stuff like that. And then, you know, come game time, it was awesome.
Yeah, you bring up the twin brother thing. We had that same experience. I don't remember if it was Saturday morning or Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. We were at
Barstool, Nashville,
and we're like, "What is Myles doing at Barstool?"
I was like, "What? Like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, none of this makes sense. Like, I'm pretty sure Coach Vegan's not letting his guys out like downtown 2 days before the game, and then." I don't remember when we found out after the fact that, oh, yeah, Myles has an identical twin brother. That's who that was. But, yeah, that's funny. We packed a lot in during our Nashville trip. We flew in. Myself and Brady flew in on Thursday. You came in on
Friday night.
Friday, yeah. We did the whole Topgolf deal. You've seen find the Instagram clip of us at Topgolf. We had a lot of fun.
It had 11 o'clock at night.
Before the national championship.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we had a blast, the whole Nashville experience. And again, I think the game took a couple years off of each of our lives. I'm sure it did for some of you guys too.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, kind of take us through the whole game day, start to finish, and I mean ultimately the ending. And
yeah, I'll try to do it justice to the best I can. You know, you wake up, you got breakfast, and then you got walkthroughs, and then, you know, you try to just stay off your feet and relax as much as you can. Maybe like roll out, do some light stretching, stuff like that. Then lunch comes around, and you got another walkthrough, and then 2 hours later, you got pregame meal, and then, you know, you're just trying to visualize your success, visualize the team's success, just trying to stay calm and you know, not make the moment too big and stuff like that. And then we got there like pretty early, like more like earlier than, because like usually for home games I think we do the prowl like 2 hours or 10 minutes before the game, but we were probably there like 2 hours and 30 minutes before. So, you know, I was just trying, like sitting around for a little bit in the locker room, just like waiting to start warming up, because like I didn't want to like overkick or anything like that. And then, you know, just getting warmed up, going through my entire warm up, went over, like usually like I'll walk over and just like introduce myself to other specialists. Like I've gotten to know a bunch of like great guys from other teams, and usually like I feel like the kickers, like, we're usually, you know, pretty friendly to each other. But so went over and said hi to like, I only said hi to like 2 of their guys. I don't think the other guys were out there, but went over, said hi to the 2 of their guys, and then I just go down and kind of do my own warm up, do my thing, and then, you know, head into the locker room and, you know, get ready. And like, I mean, yeah, just even like running out on the field, you just feel such a sense of like gratitude and thankfulness for the journey I've been on for Bobcat Nation, for my teammates, coaches, all of the above. And it's like going down there and then praying in the end zone, you just kind of feel like a calm come over you, per se. And like, I was confident in our team's ability to get it done, and like coming out, you know, scoring and the first 2 drives and you know, the first touchdown, Justin running down. And it's funny because my little brother is the one who took the video, I think, of him like running over their D-back in the end zone like right after he scored. So that was crazy. I didn't see that till after the game, but yeah, I feel like the first kick is always the hardest. So like once you see the first kick go through, like you just kind of feel a sense of relief come over you. And then, you know, going into to halftime, and Dane hurdles the guy and scores a touchdown. It was kind of like, holy crap. And it's weird because people kind of forget this, and it's like, well, I was over getting ready, kicking into the net, and I just hit like a kind of like a crappy ball into the net, got too much turf or something like that, and then Dane all of a sudden hurdles the guy and jumps in. So I'm just like, going through my process, like flush that, visualize this kick going through, and I think it was a little low, and their guy did like a little swim move and dove, but he got like a fingertips on it and tipped it, and it still went through. So like it's just a small thing where it's like, oh my God, like every point, every kick matters, like every rep matters. I mean, we all know that as Bobcat fans, and we've learned that time and time again. But yeah, and then going into halftime, and I think we all like felt good, but I think there's a clip of Titan coming in the locker room saying like, we're not done, job's not finished. Like everyone stayed on, and I felt like we did a good job of like staying locked in. And then, you know, they're a good team too. Like they had a great game plan, a great team. And, you know, I'm not the guy that knows all the X's and O's, ins and outs of football, but you can obviously sense the vibe from the team and stuff like that. And, you know, there were some tense moments, but like, even when it came down to it, like 4th and 10, like, no, I just knew like there's no possible way this is how it's supposed to end. This can't be happening. There's no way this is meant to be like this is God's plan, and like this is, yeah. I was just in disbelief, and I'd had so much time to prepare for that last kick especially after we blocked their PAT after they scored the touchdown in overtime. I was already preparing for like potentially a 50-plus yarder, and then we had to punt and then overtime. So I had plenty of time to stay warm, stay loose, hit kicks into the net, go through my routine, go through my process, visualize whatever I needed to. And so once Taco scored, like I took a few deep breaths and ran out of the field, and, you know, the rest is history. And, you know, I didn't have any plans. I just knew the second I saw it kicked, I knew it was good. And I was like, okay, I don't want to get tackled and dogpiled by all the O-linemen, so I'm running this way.
Yeah, that I remember seeing you like flip around and just go, and I was like, yeah, he's probably getting out of the way. But I mean, what was that like? Even just like, you know, running out onto the field, even like right before the kick, mentally, all that stuff.
Yeah, you know, I was just trying to do it like every other kick, and you know, not make the moment too big. I was literally just going through like my words of self-positive affirmation, saying I can and I will. I'm made for this moment, and then just taking a big deep breath, taking my steps back, going through my routine. And it's funny, Colby made me nod twice. So like when he looks back, I'll give him a nod, and then he like was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure." So let's get this thing on with. But yeah, and I mean, it was a perfect snap from Brody. I mean, yeah, like that's such a little thing that can go unnoticed. Like their field goal snap for when they tried like the 40-some yard field goal with like a minute left in regulation, it was a little low, and the holder had to like grab it and spin it. And so it's a testament to the guys blocking up front. You know, Zim, Titan, Zeke, Tommy Nielsen, I think Rocky, Hunter Province, all the guys up front, Brody snapping it, Colby holding it. We just had a great unit, and the guys in front of me did what they needed to, and, you know, they made my job easy, and I just had to kick the thing right down the middle. And, you know, so yeah, it was it's a testament to all the hard work we put in over a year to build the trust of and gain the trust of our teammates and coaches as well.
Yeah, and the rest is history. Even I still go back, and when I watch the video I took, I still get chills every time I watch it, because it's like, we're actually national champions. But yeah, and like when we posted the video the other day with from my view on that side of the stadium, that was That was pretty cool. I know, Aiden, your video was good up until I think it went through, and then your hands.
No, I don't have a video of the kick. I have a video of the touchdown.
Ah,
and then
that's
I
what it
was
is.
bent over on the ground, not looking at the field for the kick, because me and my dad have a superstition that we don't watch PATs.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that
you.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brady's in on it too now, so
Yeah.
just know you're kicking PATs. Brady and Aiden will be turned
Looking
around.
the other
so.
way.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, but so I did not get a video because I was hunched over on the ground, just praying that it was gonna go through and listening for cheers.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, to kind of wrap up interview segment, we'll finish with our Bobcat Weekly get to know you questions. I'll start us here. Favorite place to eat in Bozeman?
Hooked sushi, for sure. Hooked sushi. Yeah, I'd go that, and then 2 and 3, I'd definitely say Revelry, and then if like good sandwich, Bianchini's is great too.
Yeah,
so
nice.
those are probably top 3, but Hooked sushi is number 1.
Yeah, Revelry's been a more common answer recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good place.
all right, next question here. What's your favorite thing to do outside of football?
Definitely golf. I mean, I've been trying to get on the course as much as possible, playing as much as I can. When I go home, I'm going to be, working out, kicking, and golfing as much as possible. So, yeah, I would say golf for sure.
Again, like we talked about before we started here, you guys that do know, we're trying to plan Bobcat Weekly Scramble hopefully this summer. So stay tuned, details on that. I think if we pull it off, that'll be really, really cool to do. So fingers crossed it works out. Stay tuned for details. All right. Who has been the biggest impact or influence in your journey so far?
I'd definitely say, like, my mom and my dad. They've been to every single game, and that's been amazing. And then, like, even Molly, my aunt, Coach Vegan's wife, like, she's been huge. My girlfriend and my friends, like, there's so many people who have played an integral part in just building me up through all the ups and downs and stuff like that, because, like, it's such a interesting dynamic to have Coach Vegan as a head coach, because I definitely see him like as my coach, and like it's not ever awkward or anything like that, but it's like he is my coach at the end of the day. So like balancing that, especially when I got cut, was like a very like interesting thing, and like
Yeah.
it's like a experience that is like solely mine, I feel like.
Go ahead.
Next question on here is, if you could play any other sport professionally, what would it be and why?
I would also say golf again, or basketball. I mean, I was big basketball. Probably say like basketball was my main sport for sure growing up. But yeah, I'd probably say if I had to lean one way or the other, I'd say golf, just because you can play it longer. But yeah, I'd say golf or basketball.
Golf has definitely been the overwhelming answer for favorite sport, favorite pressure.
Well, I feel like golf
sport.
and kicking, I mean, like, we read like a golf book last spring, and like you can kind of apply a lot of the golf side and the mental side of the golf game to the kicking side of the golf game and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, if you could give one piece of advice to the younger generation of athletes, what would it be?
It would definitely just be to never give up on your dreams. And that I think it comes back to, like, the hard work beats talent and talent fails to work hard. I mean, I definitely wasn't a college level kicker coming out of high school. Like, there's a reason I didn't have any offers or anything like that. I also didn't go to any camps and stuff like that, so that didn't help. But, like, if you have something and you want to set your mind to it, anything is possible. So yeah, just never give up and work hard.
Yeah. All right. Next one on here. What's your favorite hangout spot in Bozeman?
Hangout spot in Bozeman. I mean, I would probably just say hanging out at my house, but if I had to pick another place, I don't even know. I feel like I'm usually either at my house, at a friend's house, or at the BAC or at school all the time. But yeah, I think you got me stumped on that one.
And sometimes that's fun.
Yep. What do you got for the next one?
Favorite song and or artist right now?
Favorite song? I don't know. I've been on a lot of like kind of country recently. Been listening to a lot of like Ella Langley, Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, you know, a lot of the new country stuff. Yeah, I don't even know. I'd say favorite song all time. Let me take a look real quick. Let me see what my options are. No.
I feel like we get a lot of like.
Yeah, what are some other normal answers?
I'd say country's pretty popular, but we also have some abstract answers like the rodeo ladies we had on. Like some were country, but then some are also like Don Toliver and rap too. So we have a good spectrum, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The tough question.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of options.
Like, yeah. I'd probably, if I had to pick one, I feel like, you know, a song that like has great memories would be like American Pie by Don McLean, and because like I remember listening to that with my grandpa. So like,
nice.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably go that one. But yeah, I think picking like a favorite song at the moment versus best song of all, like I think it's like an impossible question. Like I feel like I need like days to prepare for that one.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Ella Langley. For our listeners, we're a bunch of Ella fellows over here at Bobcat Weekly. I mean, you guys found that out a couple weeks ago on the rodeo episode. So we love Ella Langley over here on Bobcat Weekly. So that's a good choice. Aiden, you've got our last one here. Go for it.
This has been kind of our favorite question so far. But who on the team would you not let date your sister?
Not let date my sister. I would probably say, you know, I don't know that I would let my daughter date Takari or Seth. I think that's a dangerous duo. But yeah.
Oh man, another one for Takari.
Another one for Takari. Yep.
Takari, I'm sorry, we love you, but apparently you're not allowed to date your teammates' sisters or daughters. So.
All right. You want to ask our question of the season?
Yeah, moving along. Bobcat Weekly question of the season: does pineapple belong on pizza?
You know, if you want it to belong on pizza, why not? You know, I can't say that I'm going to go out of my way and order it, but if pineapple is on the pizza, I'll still eat it. So, nice. You know, I don't think that we need to be shaming other people's food choices. If you like something, why not? You know, go for it.
That makes, 26 yes and 14 no's?
Yeah, there's our Week 33 update. Yes is still in the lead. So
you checked your watch for that?
I don't May 7th. I was thinking because we started asking this in, October-ish?
So then next October, you'll have a new question.
Yeah. Yes. We've got a couple ideas for
I think we got one figured out for next season.
Yeah. Stay tuned, listeners. Stay tuned.
We'll tell you after the show what it is.
Aiden, you can go ahead and ask your trivia question.
Yes. What is this? So this is our trivia question. You can either answer it if you know it, or if you don't know it, you can phone a friend to help you get the answer.
And we made it kicking themed for the week, so.
Yes. The question this week is, what is the school record for the longest field goal? It's held by Jan Stenrud.
59 yards against the Grizz. Yeah. I've gotten to luckily meet Jan and got to play a round of golf with him last year. And,
wow.
You know, so, yeah, Jan left a super awesome message after the championship and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again this summer. And then I also got to meet Jason Cunningham, who has, I think, the record for the most 50-yarders. He had like 3 one game against Eastern. So I got to meet him. He played with Coach Owens in like the late 2000s, like early 2010s. I think he was like 2008 to 2012 or something like that. So, I mean, it's been really cool to meet, you know, all the Bobcat greats. And so, yeah. So thank you for the kicking question. I appreciated that one.
Yeah, and little fact, whatever you want to call it, for the show. So Jersey retired in 1984, 18-year NFL veteran, played in 262 games, kicked 373 field goals, which is an NFL record, scoring 1,694 points, including 700-plus point seasons. Three-time Pro Bowl selection and National Ambassador of Special Olympics. So pretty decorated, I would say.
Yeah, no, Jan's awesome, and like he's such a great sport about it. He has so many amazing stories. I remember telling his stories about like how guys would smoke cigarettes in the locker room in the 70s. They didn't have a weight coach until like he was halfway done with his career in the league. They would only kick like once a week, and they had the center be the long snapper and the quarterback be the holder. So they'd only kick on like Fridays before, and then Sundays pregame a little bit. They didn't have any kicking nets and stuff like that. So there's just so many crazy, awesome stories that he has, and it's been awesome to be able to soak up his knowledge and be able to pass those stories along, hopefully, to the next generation of Bobcats, so that we never forget our past and, you know, all the guys who played before us.
Yeah, there you go. Great trivia question for the week. That was great. Okay, moving along to our recap now. We'll start with track and field. I'll cover track. So they had an off weekend this past weekend. Last weekend, so to do an episode. They're coming off the Bengal Invitational in Pocatello. Seems to be a solid weekend all around for them. Junior thrower Sydney Brewster breaks the school record for discus, 168 feet, 8 inches. I think she's done that a couple times now this year. They seem to be kind of ticking it off as they go. Also named Big Sky Women's Field Athlete of the Week. That's her 4th time for the outdoor season. So she continues to tick off some. And
has there been more than 4 weeks in the outdoor season?
I think it's right about 4.
Yeah, I think she's won almost all of them. So
yeah, and I'm sure Brady and I are going to be at the track meet here tomorrow. I'm sure she'll either break another school record or get another Athlete of the Week honor. So that's about it for track. Aiden, you want to talk golf?
Women's golf. So junior Nora Seidel is heading to the NCAA Chapel Hill Regional, becoming the 2nd Montana State golfer in program history to get to do this. So big congrats to her. That's on May 11th in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I think that's what it is. And then, huge congratulations to her and best of luck.
Yeah, considering 2nd in program history, that's a pretty big honor, I would say.
It's cool that we've had back-to-back women's golfers with Maddie last year and then Nora this year. So
yeah, they're crushing it. I mean, they did a really good fall season, and then they did well this spring too. So exciting to see that stuff for sure. So best of luck to Nora. We'll give updates as we go with the coming weeks and episodes and all that. All right, last point for recap. This will take us a bit, but it's worth it. Montana State Rodeo absolutely dominating their last stretch of the regular season, so to say. So they were up in Missoula this past weekend. Cole Gerhardt and former guest Faith Marshall named Bobcats of the Weekend all-around champs. Congratulations to Faith and Cole on that. Results from the weekend, men's and women's team coming away with champs for the weekend. Cole Gerhardt won bareback. Ryder Gash won steer wrestling. Faith Marshall won the goat tying. Another congratulations to Faith. Rachel Ward with breakaway. Faith Marshall again winning the barrels, and Holden Atkinson winning the bull riding. So Cats do very well up in Missoula to cap off regular season. And then after that, regular season officially done. Both the men's and women's rodeo team are the Big Sky Region champs, which is pretty dang exciting. Men finished with a total of 8,903.5 points, and the women with 4,659.5 team points. So great way to end the season for them. And then we also just got CNFR qualifiers out. So
you want me to rattle these off real
quick?
I
believe there's 17 of them. So Aiden, go ahead.
All right. I'll do the 4 former guests first. So Faith Marshalls, Michaela McCormick, wow, Haven Wolstein, and then Annalise McCurry, who are all former guests, all qualified.
Yes.
And then also Taj Wells, Cole Denton, Rachel Ward, Cole Gerhardt, Jaden Whitman, Ryder Gash, Wyatt Jensen, Peyton Bird, Coulter McNeven, Haley Berger, Riley Mapson, Piper Cords, and Holden Atkinson. And last but certainly not least, head coach Kyle Whitaker was named the Big Sky Region coach for the year. So.
Yeah. I would say 4 out of 5 are Bobcat Weekly rodeo guests. CNFR qualifiers, I'd say that's a pretty good stat.
That's a very good job, guys.
Yeah, so we
can take all the credit there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we kind of started this. I think it was back when we had Ella Johnson and Izzy Bunyan on from
Taylor.
women's basketball. Oh, Taylor did it first. So it was Taylor first. We had her on the next game. She had that triple-double at the end of January. And then we had Ella and Izzy on. Ella then had her best career game. And then have the rodeo girls on, and then they went out and crushed it at the spring rodeo here. So I think it's happened a couple times now. Come on Bobcat Weekly, and then you do super well. So I think we'll take some credit for that.
Yeah, so maybe my next golf round, I'm going to shoot under par, or even par.
Yeah, 4 out of 5, though, for our guests. Very well done, as well as the rest of the 17 in total we're sending down to Casper is huge. So great job to them. We will obviously still update you guys as we continue with the spring episodes. Casper's coming up here. It's, I think, 2nd or 3rd week in June. So excited to get that going. Looking ahead, track. Aiden, you want to hit track?
Sure. So track, they have their senior send-off Bobcat Invitational, which will be done by the time the episode is released. That's this weekend, the weekend of the 9th.
Right. So that's happening tomorrow, Friday the 8th. Brady and I are going to go to that, head out and support that. Obviously, the episode will be out by then, but we'll have a lot to recap hopefully next week. Rodeo, like we just said, CNFR, it's Casper, Wyoming. It's Sunday, June 14th through Saturday, June 20th. So little over a month, I'd say, 5 weeks. 17 Bobcats heading down. That's going to be a blast to watch, and they always do well down there. So a lot of fun stuff coming up for that. And then kind of last but not least for the recap side of things, we touched on a little bit earlier, but football side of things, spring ball's finishing up. You guys have a couple weeks off, but give us a look at what the summer looks like and kind of into the fall when Bobcat football starts up again.
Yeah, so summer starting June 1st, we'll have workouts. We'll be running Pete's Hill first day of the year, so looking forward to that. So yeah, it should be good. We'll probably lift 4 to 5 times a week, if not. I don't know how exactly Coach Heron's going to have us doing, but maybe we'll have Pilates like one morning or every other week or something like that. But yeah, and then we'll usually practice twice a week, starting I can't remember if it's like the 2nd or 3rd week in June, up until I think it's like July 22nd or something like that. So yeah, we'll be going from June 1st to July 22nd with workouts, and then we'll start fall camp like July 30th or 31st or something like that. So yeah, I mean, with how fast this spring's flown by, it'll be whatever, August 30th in Utah Tech in no time. So yeah, and then got a little internship this summer. I don't know if you guys saw, but Bobcat Works, super cool thing. Like 20 different businesses are having 20 guys on the team gain some valuable experience interning at different companies. So got an internship with Montana Accounting Group, so looking forward to that. And
nice. Yeah,
it's awesome. I think Justin's with Big Sky Bravery. The Dowlers are with Outlaw Partners, I think. And then, yeah, I know Pat Duchesne's with First Security. Jake Vegan's doing one with Bridger Capital. So, yeah, that's another piece to hit on is just like the great community and, getting guys valuable real-world experience. So that'll be my other part of the summer. And then playing as much golf as I can in between as well.
Yes.
Hopefully this Bobcat Weekly Scramble as well somewhere in the summer as well.
Yeah, I think that, and it's like the internship you're talking about. I think that's something super cool and unique to Montana State and the Bozeman community, because I don't think you're getting that necessarily everywhere you go. So awesome opportunity for you guys and the team getting to do that. So yeah, I know we're pumped for the summer. It's coming up quick. We're going to be golfing a lot. Hopefully get ready for some Bobcat Weekly vlogs over the summer. We got to fill some time in there. So
yep, I think we're going to do something with tennis, and then hopefully the scramble, and then
track.
We'll see what else happens. Might be teaching some water sports to some people. We might make a video out of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be getting rolling with the summer stuff. But, yeah, I feel like August 29th is going to come up really quickly.
It's August 29th?
Yeah, Utah Tech. So, we sit here May 7th, but I feel like it's going to be here before we know it. So, but got to get through the summer first, golf and all that first, and then we'll get to football in the fall. So, yeah, that wraps things up for our recap. Now on to some other Bobcat news and announcement. First thing, this is more on the serious side of news. for you guys who are involved in the rodeo community who have seen Instagram, Kyle Whitaker, the head rodeo coach, his wife was involved in a really serious rodeo accident the other day, and she was life-flighted down to Salt Lake. That would have been 2 days ago now. As far as I know, she's still down there in surgery, in and out of surgery. So with that, the Shoot Boss Club has set up a Give Smart account to go towards a family, and then a GoFundMe has also been set up by a family friend. I'll have Aiden throw the links to these in the bios for the podcast, and then on YouTube as well. We'll put them up on our Instagram. But yes, just I think everyone asks, keep the Whitaker family close in your thoughts as they kind of work through this really tragic and just crazy accident that happened, super accidental accident that happened. So you guys will be seeing updates from the rodeo page and all that, as well as from us too. We'll be right in there keeping everyone updated. So stay tuned for that. Help out any way you can. Like I said, the GoFundMe and the GoSmart account, all that. Anything really helps towards them. Next thing on here, 2026 volleyball schedule is released. They put that out this afternoon. Took a look at it earlier. So 10 home games, and they're opening the season September the 28th at Missoula. So I think also volleyball season will be upon us really quickly before we know it. So excited to get rolling with that again. We'll talk some volleyball insight as we get closer, but should be another fun season, and looking forward to that. Last thing on here, football schedule. Aiden, you guys may have covered this on episode that I wasn't here.
Yeah, I think we did.
But the schedule is out. The Big Sky Conference officially posted it. So, like we said, Utah Tech, August 29th, and then Gold Rush is September 5th here against Butler. So, obviously, Cat Grizz back in Bozeman this year, so looking forward to that as well. So, big things coming up. Aiden, anything else you've got to cover before we get out of here? Cool. Myles, any last thoughts, shout-outs you want to give here?
No, thank you guys for having me. Congratulations to all the spring graduates. Way to go. And, football season will be on us soon enough. And, let's have a fun summer. Shoot a bunch of good scores on the golf course, and, get ready.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So, guys, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Bobcat Weekly, episode 33. We'll be back next week for episode 34. Stay tuned. Again, thank you to Myles for taking the time to come and chat with us. Definitely last-minute thing. I just messaged you the other day, but schedules worked out, and, hey, we took it. So, glad we were able to make a date work out. As per usual, out on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter. We're getting the TikTok still up and running, and then we're out on all podcast platforms.
Whenever Brady wants to start running the TikTok.
So YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, all that good stuff. If you actually want to watch us, you come on YouTube as well. We just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube a couple weeks ago, so big
Congrats,
stuff
fellas.
there.
Congrats.
And the other Instagram announcement this afternoon, we hit 1,200 followers on Instagram this morning, so...
And thank you to the CSG Bobcats guy on Twitter for reminding me, or for making me realize that we hit 100 subscribers, because I didn't realize.
Yeah, we had
he made a post about it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we had people realizing before us, but hey. And 1,200 followers on Instagram this morning, so we're climbing there. Excited to keep the ball rolling. So, Kate, thank you to all the fans and supporters of Bobcat Weekly. Really appreciate it. So, that wraps things up. We're going to finish up here and go enjoy our Thursday evenings. Got a big weekend coming up. Brady's got a track meet that you guys are going to be out supporting at, and other big stuff happening. So, Myles, go enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your weekend. And, again, thanks for coming on chatting with us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And, as always, go Cats.
Go Cats.